The march to Cheyenne by 160 men, 18 horses, and 160 mules served as a reminder that less than 100 years ago, safe passage through our western territories depended almost entirely on the United States cavalry. It was an age of outlaws, stage holdups, and Indian wars. Many kinds of animals have been used as beasts of burden since man first discovered he did not have to carry everything on his own back. The elephant, the camel, the ox, even the reindeer. But no animal, even the horse, is so much a part of the story of the American Far West as is the mule. Until the turn of the last century, the Army hired civilian packers to handle its mule trains. Colorful individuals with jangling spurs and Spanish-style sombreros who led their charges over terrain very different from the paved highways and peaceful prairies traversed by this modern-day outfit. The route of this 20th century trek was planned to parallel closely that of cavalry troops during the Indian Wars of 1870. When a long column of soldiers, mules, and horses rode from Denver to Cheyenne in preparation for action on the Indian front to the west. The father of modern pack service in the U.S. Army was General George Crooks, who rode a mule himself in preference to a horse. General Crooks made excellent use of his mule trains against the Apaches and other warlike Indian tribes. His successes led to the adoption of pack trains by Custer and many other legendary figures of Western history. In the old days, there were no towns, paved streets, or other amenities to provide a refreshing rest from the ardors of a long and usually dusty march. Camp was pitched on the open plain, not on the campus of a modern college. And there were no iced desserts during stopovers on a trip where even drinking water had to be carefully rationed. Even the mules have it better today. There were no co-eds in Colonel Custer's day, and no impromptu college variety shows for men on their way to bloody campaigns against the Comanches, the Sioux, or the Cheyennes. Much has changed, yet there were times during this journey when it seemed to the men of the pack train that they had left 20th century America back in Denver. For wide stretches of the West's vast rolling plains and seemingly endless deep blue skies remain practically unchanged. But progress soon catches up. The northern terminus of this historic pack trail is no longer a tiny frontier outpost, Fort Russell, but its descendant, bustling, up-to-date Cheyenne, capital city of Wyoming. The march of the 35th Quartermaster and the 4th Field Artillery, which lasted 7 days and covered over 100 miles, was planned to coincide with Cheyenne's Frontier Days, an annual occasion during which the people of Wyoming and her neighbor states pay homage to the tradition of the Old West from which they sprang. Preceding the big rodeo were servicemen from other branches, in particular the men of Warren Air Force Base, which today occupies what once was Fort Russell. This time, too, there were Indians. But times have changed. Echoes of the frontier, climaxed by a rodeo, recalling the excitement of the Old West, in which the Army played so historic a part.
Now, this is Sergeant Stuart Queen, inviting you to be with us again next week for another look at your Army in action on The Big Picture.
The Big Picture is a weekly television report to the nation on the activities of the Army at home and overseas. Produced by the Signal Corps Pictorial Center. Presented by the United States Army in cooperation with this station. You too can be an important part of the big picture. You can proudly serve with the best equipped, the best trained, the best fighting team in the world today, the United States Army.